How's it going, guys? Give me 1 second. Yes. There we go. Let me go to here. Here we go. Here. Oh no. Studio. Let me go back. Go up here. Edit. We add this to gaming. Done. No age restriction. No page promotion. Add tag. Control V. Okay. Save. Recording date is today. Stream location is ooh. This is gonna be Madden 25. Save. Here we go. We go over here. Over here. All right. Let's see. What are we gonna do now? Nice. Sure.
Greetings, folks. Welcome to the Law of Foho podcast. I am your host, Robert Foho. I am a practicing lawyer, but somewhat of a recovering lawyer turned legal and political, and we teach you that liberalism is the disease, a lot worse than coronavirus, and conservatism is the cure. I am thrilled to be here with you today. Class is in session. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I've gotten a lot of inquiries concerning how to sue a state or local official for a violation of civil rights or constitutional rights. And I wanted to just take the time to run through what exactly that is, how to do it, what are the components of it, some things you need to think about, and then how to go about doing it. This is a broad strokes sort of discussion, and I'm going to cover things in a very general way. Obviously, there are going to be nuances to a lot of these issues, and there are, some things that are going to vary from situation to situation depending on the facts. This is obviously not legal advice of any kind. I'm just providing you with my knowledge, and then if you choose to use this for your own interest, obviously you should consult an attorney and get the appropriate legal advice. So let's start with what this is called. This mechanism for suing a state or local official is known as a Section 1983 action. It's a lawsuit, and action is another word for a lawsuit. And the way it works is, this is a lawsuit brought under a specific federal statute. It's known as Section 1983 of Title 42 of the United States Code. What this mechanism allows you to do is it provides an individual with the right to sue a state government employee or someone else acting under, these are the keywords, under color of state law. Now, this is essentially a legal claim that alleges that a state or local official has violated your civil rights under the Constitution. And these actions can be brought in either state or federal court. Now, it's important to make this distinction. Section 1983, that statute does not it doesn't provide civil rights. It does not create a civil right. Okay, you're not suing for a violation of a Section 1983 right. It's a means to enforce civil rights that exist elsewhere. And if you recall, if you know where I stand on this, and if you recall how I've explained this in the past, we are born with rights. Those rights were given to us by God or nature, however you want to classify it. And then we give up some of those rights to government in exchange for government to protect our rights. So these rights exist elsewhere. And 1983 is merely a procedural mechanism to enforce those rights. Section 1983 provides federal courts with jurisdiction to hear civil rights cases. It's a procedural mechanism for you to bring this claim in federal court and allege that a state official or a local official has violated your constitutional rights or federal statutory rights. Now, this is an extension of what I was just explaining. A public official is not liable under Section 1983, all right? Rather, the statute creates liability for violating another federal right, whether it's a constitutional right or a federal statutory right. If you were to prevail under this statute, the official that you are suing would not be held liable under the statute itself. The official is going to be found to have violated some other right, and you're just using Section 1983 as a procedural mechanism to enforce that right or those rights. Oops, skipped ahead here. Now, what kinds of damages can you obtain in a Section 1983 action? There are two types, or rather, what kind of relief can you obtain in a Section 1983 action? There are two types. One is monetary damages, all right, and the other type is what's known as injunctive relief. Injunctive relief or an injunction is an order from the court that tells somebody to stop doing something or that orders somebody to do something. If you recall from the my past discussions on the lawsuits I've handled challenging mask mandates, vaccine mandates, in those cases, we are usually requesting injunctive relief, which is an order from the court that tells a municipality or a school district to stop enforcing a mask mandate. That is known as an injunction, injunctive relief. And that's one of the types of relief you can get in a Section 1983 lawsuit. The other type is monetary damages, which is what you have come to know as money damages in any case. Now, civil rights refers to rights that are protected by the Constitution or federal law. The types of rights that are protected are usually rights that are enshrined in the Fourth Amendment, for example, an illegal search and seizure or an unlawful arrest, or, for example, if you're an inmate and you receive inadequate medical care for an injury you sustained either while in prison or before you arrived there. Police misconduct, the use of excessive force is also conduct that you can challenge under Section 1983, and you're protected from all of these types of conduct. either under the Constitution or some other federal statute. Now, Section 1983 cannot vindicate rights under state law. We have, in addition to our federal rights, we also have rights under state law, but Section 1983 is not the mechanism that you use for enforcing state rights. It's purely for the violation or vindicating the violation of federal rights. A little bit of history on this statute. It was originally intended to protect slaves who were freed in the Civil War. What happened at the time, Southern states passed laws that were harassing and intimidating African Americans, and law enforcement officers were assaulting them, and so on and so forth. So what happened was the Civil Rights Act of 1871 was passed, and that law allowed victims, such as former slaves, to file lawsuits in federal court and recover money damages. These victims were allowed to file in federal court because if they filed in state court, the prevailing sentiment at the time was that they would face a lot of bias in state court. So they were allowed to pursue these claims in federal court. Usually, federal courts are better forums for avoiding that kind of bias. When I was practicing at a large firm, we always wanted to be in federal court. If we represented a large company and that company was sued in state court, you generally wanted to get that case out of state court and into federal court, because federal court was usually a much stricter process. The judges are usually better in federal court, and you could avoid the biases that exist in state court. So this law allowed victims of these types of this type of conduct to file Section 1983 claims in federal court and